wonder whether you can see okay? What do you see? I don't know. And I hope you can hear me okay. Piya, can you somehow take over?
Yes. Warm greetings and all the leaders and Bante and the Bhikkhu and our religious leader from around the world, from east to west. And today is the day of Parinibbana that we are going to celebrate today. And this day has been recognized and celebrating from 8 February. And most of the Buddhist people and community from around the world celebrate this Parinibana Day is on 15. So that's what we are doing today, celebrating and commemorating the Buddha's Parinibbana, a Nirvana Day that which has been occurred 2069 years ago. It's almost going to be 3,000 years that we are still remembering and will be remember the day of Parinibbana. And this has been very essential for all the Buddhist communities around the world to remember the virtue that the Buddha has been did for the compassion and goodness for around the world. Parinibbana Day, also we known as the Nirvana Day, is an annual Buddhist event. Both Mahayana and Theravada and all the Buddhist people and communities celebrating in the East, Asia, and West, and now it's spreading around the globe. It is celebrated by some of the people, as I said, February 8th, but mostly celebrated on February 15th. It has been remembered the date of the Buddha when he reached the age of 80. When he died, the Buddhists believe that he reached the state of Parinibbana, which means nirvana without end. So nirvana is a state of a complete understanding when no more suffering can be experienced. So this is the importance of Parinirvana, that the day that we are celebrating. And today, as we are celebrating the Parinirvana Day in a conference that we have been organized, especially my efforts through, we have been discussing having this celebration from the past few weeks. And I like to say that this Parinirvana Day is very important for all around the world, and especially that today we have been inviting some of the greatest religious leader from different backgrounds, and from Mahayana to Vajrayana, and also to Tibetan to Theravada, and the Chinese to Korean and Japanese. So in this way, Buddhists from around the world has been gathered today and celebrating this Parinirvana, remembering the virtues of the Buddha. Here we have gathered all our moderator, Professor James Lange, and also Venerable Kurunagal Sir Anuruddha from Sri Lanka, and Sohut Sundar from Myanmar, and Venerable Gonzo from China, and Reverend Dun Park from Korea and USA, and mostly our TK Venerable Dr. Nakagaki from Japan. And also we have the Kenpo Acharya Karma Lama from Nepal, where the Buddha was born. So Lumbini, where the Buddha was born, and he has taken the enlightenment. And today we are talking about the Parinirvana Day. So I welcome all our distinguished leaders, distinguished religious leaders, and our brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcoming all of you from around the world, from east to west. And I like to welcome again. Thank you very much for coming and having your wonderful time. And even with your amid busy time, that you are giving the time for us and remembering the day of Parinibbana. And thank you very much again from I'm addressing, saying and welcoming from Kathmandu, Nepal, the land of the Buddha. Thank you very much. Yes, over to Dr. TK Nakagaki. Can you on your mic, please?
Sorry. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Pia. And then actually today we're using the introduction to your chat. So the speaker's background will be on a chat. So Dr. Pia, for instance, is there to everyone. So he's the General Secretary of the International Buddhist Education Center at the Nepal chapter. And also, all those things are written in the chat. So, but thank you so much. And we're very happy to work together, created this events. And then, of course, a little correction, February 15th is the today, and it's a full moon day. And that's in a calendar, Japanese calendar, in Japan, we celebrate observe the Nirvana Day on February 15th. And also birthdays are April 8th, and then the Buddha's Enlightenment Day is December 8th. So that's how we do. So thank you for introducing us. And then so now we'd like to also get your attention about the Facebook page that you can share, so that if you share this page, I just sent, everyone should receive the Heiwa PRF Heiwa what do you call it, Facebook page. And then it's right now that should be live on there. I can send it again. So if you can pay attention to the chat, and then you can just go there and share to your sharing, so that more people can watch what's going on here today. So I do appreciate very much if you can do that. So okay. And so if you have chance to do, maybe now is a good time to maybe do that things. And then so I would like to connect to the Kushinagara parts of the ceremony. So since the Buddha's enlightenment took place in Kushinagara in India, so we do have the Venerable here to give sorry. So I wanted to, can you unmute yourself, Venerable? Yes, that's fine. Can you hear, can you say a few words? Hello, hi, Venerable. Thank you very much for joining today. And so I would like to give you the spot. And so please start your what do you call it, the puja chanting, and also your greeting. So I'd like to give it to you. And then before that, let me just introduce Venerable. And so now you can see, thank you, James Lynch, to share the background. Venerable Dr. Bhaddant Gyeneshwar monk in chief of Maha Pari-Nirvana main temple in Kushinagara. And he served the president of the Kushinagara of Bhikkhu Sangha and many parts of the presidents, and also the chair many parts of the what do you call it, patron, chief patron of National Coordination of Buddhist Organization and so forth. So he has so much of the things accomplished, and then support the all the Buddhist group, and also contribute in a many way for the Buddha Dharma, especially India society. So we're very fortunate. We're very grateful for very senior monk, Venerable Gyeneshwar, here with us and from the Kushinagar. So thank you so much. Can I give you a spot? Please speak. Thank you.
Bante Asingara Mok Minglabar Kusto Bolo. Yeah.
I want to speak Hindi.
Yes, okay. I will translate for him. You can speak Hindi.
Yeah, कुशीनगर के संबंध में आप लोग जो बातचीत हो रहा था, कुशीनगर महापरिनिर्वाण स्थान है। मैंने यह कुशीनगर में 5 अगस्त 1963 को आया था। उसके बाद यहाँ अभी करीब 60 वर्ष से अधिक हो रहा है। कुशीनगर में बहुत संघर्ष के साथ हमारा गुरुजी ने 1891 को कुशीनगर आया था। कुशीनगर में कुछ नहीं था उस टाइम में। यहाँ स्कूल खोला, पहले संस्कृत पाठशाला खोला, पाठशाला खोलने में प्राइमरी स्कूल खोला, इंटर कॉलेज, डिग्री कॉलेज तक खोला। उसके बाद 1926 को 1876 को खुदाई किया था। 1926 को ये मुख्य मंदिर का खुदाई किया था। खुदाई में एक मूर्ति मिला, बहुत बड़ा मूर्ति, 1 फीट लंबा।
बंटे थोड़ा सा है, मैं ट्रांसलेट करेगा।
जी
सर, निनिश प्रभु ध्यान हाथ ट्रांसलेट लो बाबू। जी सर जी, आप ट्रांसलेट करने के लिए।
Okay, Venerable Asingara from Kushinagar says greetings, warm greetings from Kushinagar to all of our friends from Buddhist friends from around the world. And he has been in Kushinagar for more than 20 years and serving there. And he's from Myanmar and living in the Kushinagar. And he's very happy to be here in this platform with the all Buddhist community, the monks and nuns and the followers of the Buddha has been gathered here. And this is the first time to have this kind of Zoom meeting to address. So he's going to speak in Hindi. So fortunately, I'm translating. Bhante bolo.
1963 को यहीं आया था। 63 को आने के बाद यहाँ शुरू में कुछ नहीं था। यहाँ हम लोग एक हफ्ता में 2 रुपया में 13 आदमी खाता था। उसका प्रयास करते करते कुछ जमीन लिया। जमीन लेने के बाद जमीन में धान रोपा, आलू बोआ, उससे धीरे धीरे विकास हो गए। चादरा बनाया गया था। बनाने के बाद धीरे धीरे विकास हुआ। विकास होने के बाद 1926 को महापरिनिर्वाण मंदिर को खुदाई किया था। खुदाई किया, स्तूपा ठीक किया। ठीक करने के बाद स्तूपा भी ठीक हो गया। वहां अंदर में एक मूर्ति मिला। वो मूर्ति है 1 फीट लंबा। उसी में लिखा था देया दमो यम महाविहारी स्वामी नो हरि बलस्या प्रतिमा चिया गदिता देने ना मास्टर ने बोल के लिखित मिला था। अब तो वैसे करें।
ठीक है। Says Venerable says that the 21 feet the Buddhist statue has been laid down, memorizing the Parinibbana of the Buddha, so which we all the Buddhist community can be seen by visiting there. So this is the one of the symbolic that the Buddhists can memorize, commemorate the death of the Buddha, which is Parinibbana, and the Nirvana that he has taken. So he was very fortunate to be there and commemorating the death of the Buddha, and which we spread around the world, bringing all the Buddhists from around the world, commemorating and remembering even our own deaths, our own reflecting our own deaths, that Buddha has shown us the impermanence of the rules of the Dhamma. Panteji?
उसके बाद 1926 को अष्टूपा बनाया गया। 1926 को माथा को मंदिर को मरम्मत किया था। मरम्मत करने वाला है गुरुजी से संबंधित बर्मे उपासकों ने संबंध किया था, और अष्टूपा खुदाई करने वाला बर्मा के उपोचु नाम एक व्यक्ति था, वहाँ का ICS अधिकारी DM था। उसके बाद उफो लाए और बर्मा का ही है, वो माथा गुआ मंदिर को मरम्मत किया था। माथा गुआ मंदिर बनाने का टाइम में मात्र 6,000 रुपया लगा था, जो अष्टूपा बनाने का टाइम में 15,000 रुपया लगा था। उसके बाद दूसरे साल 1927 को फिर मरम्मत किया, सोना लगाया गया था। इसके बाद से धीरे धीरे विकास होते गया तो कुछ लगा अभी इसी हालत में बहुत अच्छा भी।
ठीक है। As the Venerable said that during 1926, the Kushinagar, the monastery has been discovered, and again it was been reconstructed. During 1927, it has been again reconstructed and make this a beautiful temple. And as far as for today concerned, there has been a lot of improvement has been went through, and today it has been decorated, and all the Buddhists from around the world can see this beautiful the Parinibbana Kushinagar, the temple can be seen by all the Buddhists from around the world. This is efforts taken by the Buddhist community in India and the support from around the world. So that's how we should preserve this is historical place like Kushinagar.
1954 से 1956 तक बर्मा में 7 संगति हुआ था। उधर बर्मा का प्रधानमंत्री, यहाँ का प्रधानमंत्री, गुरुजी तीनों मिलकर कुशीनगर को काफी विकास हुआ। कुशीनगर चौराहे से है महापरिनिर्वाण मंदिर तक ले आके रामवास्तु पर रास्ता बनाया गया था। उसके बाद धीरे धीरे लोग आने लगा, बहुत आने का विकास होने लगा। तो विकास होने के साथ साथ चाइना मंदिर है, तिब्बती मंदिर है, उसके बाद अभी हाल में ही कोरिया मंदिर, जापानी मंदिर, उसके बाद कंबोडिया मंदिर, इस तरह बनाने अभी तो बहुत अच्छा है, अभी बहुत सुंदर है। तो वहाँ कुशीनगर के 1954-1956 में बर्मा में नागारी डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर से गुरु से मिला था। गुरु से मिलने के बाद गुरु जी से दीक्षा लिया 1956 को दीक्षा लेने के बाद अभी विकास बहुत है। या कुशीनगर आसपास का लोग काफी संख्या में बहुत हो गया। अभी भी आजकल अभी हमारे यहाँ एक प्रोग्राम हो रहा था, करीब 500 आदमी बुद्धिस्ट दीक्षा लिया था, 300 आदमी करीब शराबी दीक्षा, उसके बाद करीब 100-150 आदमी करीब औरत नागरिक बना, विष्णु ने बना। अभी ट्रेनिंग चल रहा है अभी कुशीनगर पे।
ठीक है। So the support and the coordination with the Prime Minister of one of Prime from Myanmar and Prime Minister of India, and also government of Cambodia, Vietnam, and Nepal and other countries which has been supporting of the government level. And this has been even 1954 when the Venerable monks from Myanmar and Buddhist community, which has spent a lot of time and financial support and spiritual or guidance and support from around the world, And today, the beautiful Kushinagar has been developed so far, keeping this as a track and history for the Buddhists, so that the birth of the Buddha and the enlightenment and the Parinibbana, these all three significance of the occasion has been can be commemorate and celebrate Buddhists from around the world.
हम लोग कुशीनगर विकास के प्रयास करता है, लेकिन यहाँ का कुछ लोग कुशीनगर को विकास के लिए नहीं चाहता है, लेकिन प्रयास करते करते इस साल में तो आपका कुशीनगर इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट भी बना। अभी दिल्ली से कुशीनगर, कुशीनगर से कलकत्ता ऐसे चल रहा है, दिल्ली कलकत्ता, कलकत्ता उसका कुशीनगर बॉम्बे, ऐसे 2-3 जगह पे चल रहा है। अगर ये लॉकडाउन खोल जाएगा कुशीनगर से सीधे बर्मा, थाईलैंड, कंबोडिया, लाओस, कोई भी आदमी मांगेगा तो हो सकता है। अभी पूरा काफी विकास पे है।
Now the new development of the inauguration of the new airport at Kushinagar, and now the Buddhists from around the world can visit there very easily. And now due to this COVID-19 pandemic, Omicron, there's been some kind of restrictions. So once this Omicron virus or this COVID-19 pandemic's been gone, then it will be normalized. Then all the Buddhist community from around the world, especially from Laos, Buddhists, Vietnam, Cambodia, Myanmar, wherever the Buddhist community can visit, and easily accessible from the road to airport. And the government of India has been supporting so much for the development of Kushinagar. भन्टे जी, अभी परिनिर्वाण की सिग्निफिकेंस के बारे थोड़ा बता दो, 1 मिनट।
महापरिनिर्वाण मंदिर तो बहुत अच्छे विकास पे है, लेकिन अभी लॉकडाउन के कारण जो सवेरे 6 बजे करीब खुलता है, शाम को 6 बजे करीब बंद हो जाता है। पहले तो सवेरे 4 बजे खुलता था, रात को 8 बजे बंद हो जाता था। फिर भी अभी जो लॉकडाउन के कारण विदेशी लोग बेलगू नहीं के बराबर है, देशी लोग तो भी आते जाते रहता है। विशेष में हमारा बुद्ध जनता महाराष्ट्र, उसके बाद पहाड़ी क्षेत्र के लोग, उसके बाद दिल्ली, कलकत्ता, ऐसे थोड़ा थोड़ा आ रहा है, लेकिन पूरा खुला नहीं। लेकिन अगर खुल जाएगा तो इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट खोलने के बाद विदेशी लोग भी काफी संख्या में आने का उम्मीद है।
ठीक है, अहिले अब पंडित जी का टाइम समाप्त हो गया 5 मिनट के लिए। अभी मैं ट्रांसलेट करूंगा, है। So the Bhante ji said that once this opening of the coronavirus, that he's pray that it will be
अभी भी तो नया है, बाद में अगर प्रैक्टिस हो जाएगा तो आपसे बहुत अच्छा संबंध हो जाएगा। अभी तो हम इसलिए प्रैक्टिस कभी नहीं हुआ।
We all like to invite you to Kushinagar, and also wish him to see you, all of you, in Kushinagar once this Omicron, this virus pandemic has been go. So he pray from Kushinagar that all of us, all this pandemic go as soon as possible, and all the Buddhist community, religious leader, monks, nuns, and all our people, brothers and sisters, can be visit Kushinagar. He said, "Thank you very much from Kushinagar."
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay. Can he do the offering for the chanting?
Bhante ji, अपना के प्रार्थना चाहिए
जी,
अपना के प्रार्थना चाहिए, प्रार्थना, पूजा छोटा
मेरा नाम बुद्धि ज्ञानेश्वर है।
छोटा
यहाँ कुशीनगर में एक सदब्रश ही है, बुद्धिस्ट टेम्पल कुशीनगर, लेकिन बिल्कुल मंदिर से सटे, महापरिनिर्वाण मंदिर से बिल्कुल सटे है।
अपना के वहाँ के प्रार्थना चाहिए, पाली में
जी,
पूजा Puja,
Acha,
puja
acha.
ki.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sabba sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sabba sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sabba sambuddhassa. Sabba roga vinimoto sabba santa boyido. Sabba viramade kanto nibuddho jatu amba. Sabba diyo vivajantu sabba rogo vinasatu. Mahati bhavantu antarayo sukhi dikha yuko bhava. Abhivadana silesa nijahuda pajayino. Sattaro dhamma vadanti ayuvanno sukhamala. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba divata. Sabba buddha nubhavina sada sukhi bhadude. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba divata. Sabba dhamma nubhavina sada sukhi bhadude. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba divata. Sabba sangha nubhavina sada sukhi bhadude. सभी को मंगल हो धन्यवाद
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
धन्यवाद
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Venerable, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So, and hope many people will visit to the Kushinagar soon, and we hope to see you there. Thank you so much for your time.
yeah.
Appreciate it. And so we'll have Venerable next speaker that we have actually is a puja from the Mahayana tradition, and so this time from the Chinese Buddhist tradition we have very good Venerable Guan Zhen, and so I need to find him where you are, but
I'm here.
and yes, I found him now, so let me spot him. Okay, and thank you, Venerable, again, and we'll Venerable, are you there now? I think
Yeah, I'm
you're
here.
on. So thank you.
Yes, he's there. Wanzan.
Yeah. So TK, how many times I have? How much? I mean,
About 5 minutes or so.
5 minutes. Okay. So thank you so much for inviting me, and I would like to share PPT with you. Can you make me available to share the screens?
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Let me see, just 1 second. I don't know whether I know how to make. Yeah, just 1 second. Maybe I'll make you a co-host, so you can probably do that.
All right.
Let me do that for co-host you. Okay. Okay.
All right. So I can share now. I saw that. All right. Can everyone see my PPT?
I think so.
All right. So thanks again for having me for this very important celebration of the Buddha's Nirvana Day. So here we're about to introduce is Nirvana was celebrating in China from the history background, and I would like to.
Before that, can you do the puja? This is the puja part. So
Yeah,
later you have an opportunity to share the Chinese part. So maybe, yeah, that would be nice to have some picture there and then to do some puja.
Okay.
In this case, thank you. The offering.
So here's the puja. Here's the puja I'm going to share with you. So so it's part of my PPT. So the Nirvana in tradition, especially we Mahayana Chinese Buddhist tradition, it says Nirvana is never cease, or it's the returning of the Dharma body, and it's boundless. So the puja I'm going to do is a very short chanting from the Dharma body, and it's well known in Far East tradition. So if you'd like, I would like to invite you put your palms together and close your eyes. Zhen no miao ti 变法界，以为身。华藏庄严，恩台西，以为了为此花费不以其长，其真以长荣，才凡身。阿弥陀。Thank you so much. So the chanting basically, it's a reminder that the Buddha's Nirvana is basically a return of the Dharma body. So, and the Dharma body is boundless. For it's the Dharma run, equal to like a Awatamasaka run is dignified and takes the whole universe to measure. And also, going back to this present moment, it says, as such now, this Dharma gathering, we are gathering now, is the presence of Nirvana. And it transcends dependent, independent conditions in the harmony and shaded ordinary people share the same quality of Nirvana. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Venerable. And so we wanted to hear you after later on for the, the dialogue parts. You will share.
Okay, I got it. I got it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And then next, I would like to introduce Venerable Soken Danjo, and he's from Japan. From living in Hiroshima, actually, is the. Let me first of all let me find him where you are, and so I hope you'll be able to join me. Oops, I don't know. I hope I can find him.
はい。
見れますかね? I don't know. I can't somehow the いらっしゃいますよね。はい。ちょっと待ってくださいね。あれスポットライト。まずは、はい。すみません。ちょっとお待ちください。はい。じゃあ、よろしくお願いいたします。Then let me introduce Venerable Soken Danjo. He's a chief priest of Saikoji Temple of the Rinzai Myoshinji in the Hiroshima Prefecture. So it's 2001, and so he also established the school of heart for the citizens, and have all these different lectures and talks in different places, including like Europe or United States. And so have more for that, but then I hope you can see the chat, and thank you so much for today to join us. So Reverend Danjo will be speaking, and then I'll be translated into Japanese. So, okay. よろしくお願いいたします。
はい。Thank you very much, everybody. Today, the Nirvana Day, and Buddha's that time, and so just a full moon time, and in Japan, the midnight.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining today. And then today is the Nirvana Day, the Buddha's passing away. And so that was the time when the Buddha was passed away. That was a full moon and day. So today is actually a full moon day.
今晩とても美しい月を私は見ることができました。
Tonight I was able to watch the wonderful the moon, the pretty moon in Japan.
日本ではブッダのお釈迦様の教えが伝わって約1400年ほど経っております。
About 1400 years after the Buddha Dharma came to Japan.
それからずっと日本の中に仏教が育っていく中で、私のこの西光寺のお寺は1469年。
1469, my temple here on Saiko Zenji was built. And so that's where my temple is. And during, of course, as I said, the Japanese within a long history of Japan, that's where my temple is. Sorry.
はい。前の住職さんが亡くなって、私はちょうど20年目に来ております。この住職をしてですね。
After past head priest passed away on 20 years ago, I took over this position as a head priest of the Saikoji temple.
これからちょっと紹介させていただくのは、今お寺からすれば320年ほど前の時代に書かれたお寺に所蔵しているお釈迦様のニルバーナの絵でございます。
So what I would like to show it to you today, share with you today, is a painting of a Nirvana, Parinirvana, and which was the Saikoji temple kept over 320 years. And so that's the time that this was painted. And so I would like, that's the Nirvana painting or scroll that I have. So let me share with that. じゃあちょっとシェアさせてもらって大丈夫ですかね、今。
はい、よろしくシェアお願いします。
はい。So I hope you can see okay. Just one second.
はい。
This is still small. Oh, yeah, I have to make it large. Sorry. Yes, please. Thank you.
この絵が西光寺、私のお寺に所蔵しているものでございます。320年ほど前のそのままの絵でございます。
This is the scroll that we have at my temple. So, as I said, 320 years ago, and we don't have any fix anything. We just kept it just as it is.
ちょうど一番上のところに白く丸くなっているのは満月ですね。
Now you see the round on the top of the painting, but that's the full moon, the white round thing.
その後ろに、川が流れてますけれども、この川は、ごめんなさい、ちょっと出てこない。
In the background, there's a little river, and
川の大事な川の名前なんですけど、ごめんなさい。川が流れて、ちょうどサラソウジュと言います。夏椿の木が8音書かれて、その下でお釈迦様が横になり、たくさんのお弟子さん、 また菩薩如来、そうですね、インドの神様方も周りにおられるという、そういった設定のネアンズ、ニルバーナの絵になっております。
So this is also that you can see the river and you can see the trees. This is the Shara trees, and where the Buddha laid down before he entered the Parinirvana, and then surrounded by all the disciples and bodhisattvas and all the other creatures as well.
ちょうど上の天上界といいますか、上から降りてこられているのは、お釈迦様のですね、お母様でございます。マーヤですね。マーヤ様と、
this is a little enlarged one, and then this is Buddha's mother, Maya. So she's came down from the to the heaven.
はい。私の息子、ブッダが亡くなるというのを悲しんで、天上から降りてこられて、自社にですね、なんとか薬を届けようということで、天上界から投げたんですが、残念ながらですね、この夏椿の枝に引っかかってしまって、お釈迦様のところには届かなかったという一つの説の中で説かれた絵になっております。
This is one picture. She came down because Buddha is passing away, so she wanted to help him recover. But so she sent the medicine from the heaven, and this is what I hope you can see the red one on a part in a tree, and branch of tree. There's a little red. I don't know whether you can see this, but so that's where this is a medicine. So she threw the medicine to the Buddha, but yet actually it was stuck in a tree.
で、8本の皿掃除の木が4本枯れてしまったという説が残されています。
So among the 8 Shara trees, the 4 kind of deteriorate. Like so the color is different. This is green, this is brown.
なぜ8音かというと、多分これはお釈迦さんの説かれた八正道から来ておられる意味があるのかなと言われている本もございます。
So some book explain why the 8. The 8 is coming from the eightfold path.
お釈迦さんは北向きに横になって、眠るように亡くなられたと聞いております。
Buddha is dying on he was facing to the north, and so this is better still. He's facing to the north. His head is towards the north, and then his face is focusing on the west, and between the Sara trees, he passed away. And so this is a picture that you see the Buddha laying down.
下のお坊様はアーナンダでございます。アーナンダさんはもう気絶してしまってですね、一番弟子のアーナンダさんももう横たわって、もう動けない状態。
So this the one monk who is laying down is Ananda. He was so lost because Buddha passed away, so he was so sad, and then really like he was on the ground.
周りの金色の顔で描かれているのは菩薩です。暴れきでシュバロなども観音菩薩様とか入っておられますね。
Okay, if you look carefully, then you see also maybe bodhisattvas, the gold face, like here. These are all the bodhisattvas you see. Kuan Yin Bodhisattva and so forth. So here's a Kuan Yin Bodhisattva.
で、亡くなる寸前に、老婆がですね、お釈迦様の足を支えておられる姿があるんですが、これは、お釈迦さんが悟られる前に父飼いを出された、 スジャータではなかろうかと言われています。
This old person here, in a back, I hope you can see. She's old person, but she was considered as a Sujata who gave the milk before he reached sat down on a Bodhi tree. Especially after the practice of 35, his practice before, and then so she came to offer the last prayer too.
さまざまな表情でこの書かれている涅槃ではありますが、この中には仏教の中に出てくる神様などもたくさん何人かおられますね。鬼も泣いてるという場面あると思いますね。さらに、
so many different gods also, some like four great kings, the Deva here too, and some of the Devas, or even like the what do you call it? Demons are also kind of crying for this passing of the Buddha.
でもこれだけの絵で大体終わっていいはずなんですけれども、さらにお釈迦様の教えの深いところは、この人間界だけでなくてですね、菩薩界だけでなくて、この足元をぐっと少し下げていますと、いろんな生き物たちも泣いているという姿が描かれています。
If not, normally this picture Buddha surrounded by all the people, all the disciples, all the bodhisattvas and gods, those are normally the scene that you probably expect. But this particular scroll also has like this. Yes, now you see the underneath. So this is here for the Ananda laying down, and then if you go down, there's different creatures that you see. So that's something different from this particular scroll.
中には象さんもいますね。水牛がいたり、
some elephants.
ライオンもいます。
And so that's the elephants here. And then sorry, I thought I replaced it, but it wasn't replaced. So this is a lion next to the elephant.
はい。で、左手の方にはトンボや蝶々も出てきてますね。
And you see the dragonflies as well as the butterflies. Let me make it a little bit bigger here. Yeah, see that.
で、320年前の日本はですね、誰も象さんを見たり、ライオンを見ることはありませんでした。みんな聞き伝えで、象というのはこういう形をしてるんだよとか、ライオンはこんな感じをしてるんだよということを聞き伝えの中で書いてますので、今のリアルなライオンではないというのをご理解ください。
But sometimes you might sometimes you might see that this elephants and lion doesn't look like the real one that we know, because at that time in Japan there's no elephant or lions and even tigers, and so they are actually heard from the story how they look, and so that's the way that this one was painted. So that's why the person who painted 300 years ago still never seen the lions or elephants, and so that's why it looks pretty different. Maybe some parts are different from the one that we know as elephants. So.
ちょっと右手の方になるとラクダも描かれてますね。右手側になりますけれど。
ちょっと待ってくださいね。So yeah, there's here. ラクダはなんて言うんでしたかね。忘れた。Yeah, so well, はい。
すいません。
言いますね。すいません。
その上にはさまざまな鷹とか鳥ですね。白鳥がいたりですね。していると思います。
So there's many other the birds and all the different animals. Again, you see a lot of different kinds of birds there, and so it was, yeah. So you see a lot of finding very different things. If you look up very carefully, you see many different creatures there.
多分なんか皆さんの想像の中で、この絵は亀かな、これは虫かなというので想像していただければいいと思うんですが、この絵の中に素晴らしい、私が一番感動するのは、生きとし生けるすべての命に向けて慈しみの心を持って説法されたお釈迦さんのですね、生き様、生き方ということをこのすべての絵の中に説かれているというのを私は感じます。
So yeah, one part that I don't get it. What was the name of it? That's a camel. Camel.
そうですね。
So and but anyway, the one of the when you look at all those painting, you find many different creatures, little one, small one, even insects. He mentioned it, and but then one thing I feel really grateful for this one is that the one point is very important is this is all different nature, different beings. So like that all different. Maybe there's an expression called all sentient beings, all those lives, including here in this picture.
この中においては多分ですね、お釈迦様はベジタリアンだったというのはすぐわかると思いますね。
Probably because based upon this one, maybe Shakyamuni Buddha may be a vegetarian too.
さらに、私はよく言うんですけれど、これはお釈迦様が亡くなれる絵なんですが、実はお釈迦様を自分として見てみてください。もし自分が、はい。
Sorry, although this is a picture that Buddha is passing away, and but yet if you look at, consider yourself, be a position of Shakyamuni Buddha, then that's I think is very important. So again, put yourself in a picture of in a position of the Buddha Shakyamuni.
あなた自身が亡くなるときにお釈迦様のようにいろんな生き物たちが悲しんでもらえるような生き方をぜひこの世でやってみてくださいということを私はよくこの涅槃図を皆さんに紹介する中でお話をさせていただくことがあります。
So how you think, how your life, how do you live your life? Do you feel like when you're passing, all the friends, people, even creatures, all the things, all living beings is coming to gather for you? And is that the way you're living your life? I mean, this is one of the teaching that I always talk about. And so think of how you live. And live like the Buddha who respect all the lives and care for all the lives, give the compassion to all the lives.
はい。どうもありがとうございました。
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing, for listening, and okay, thank you so much. Now, let me play some music so you can really relax. And then this is Lulla LayLa. This is the musician today. I don't know whether she wanted to say anything. I'm not too sure. I saw her here, but if you want to say something, maybe after I play, maybe she can say something. But I didn't tell her to say anything at this point. But maybe simply I would like to play her music. But this time, actually, I requested her to do certain songs, and then it's actually kind of connected to the what do you call it? The Buddha's passing away, or Parinirvana. And then we sang for two songs together with the same melody. Melody itself is Itenraku, which is the oldest probably music in Japan. And so this first one is Iroha-uta, which is talking about impermanence of life, actually. And then the second song is the beginning of the Heike Monogatari, Tale of Heike. And then there's a part that appears of that like a shara trees in India, how Buddha passing away. So So there is the aspects of the again impermanence of life, even Buddha passing away. So that's the video that I'd like to show. So please listen, and let me share the pictures. Okay, and let me share the screen, and I believe this is correct. Okay, so here go to the so yeah. So thank you very much. I believe no, yeah, because after the talk by Venerable Danjo, I believe you can see all the pictures of a painting with the songs together. So it's a good way to reflect reflect of the Buddha's life. So now I thank you again, Danjo Sensei. I would like to now back to the actually next part of here is the talking about. Let me introduce James Lynch, Reverend James Lynch is the actually president of the Buddhist Council of New York. He is a Dharma teacher authorized by the Buddhist organization Rishoko Sekai, and yeah, he's also part of the Heiwa Foundation that I was in. I'm president of. I'm actually the president of the Heiwa Peace and Reconciliation Foundation of New York, TK Nakagaki, and I'm introducing James. So he'll be moderating the discussion that we have, a dialogue for Nirvana Day. And then we do have a different speakers coming from the different countries. So that's what I'd like to have him in, taking place from here. Let me just find the spot. James, are you there? Okay, great.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Good morning. Good evening, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess this portion of it, we're going to have a Dharma discussion on Nirvana from various traditions of Buddhism. Each speaker will give about a 4-minute presentation about 2 questions. The first question that they will address is, how do you observe and practice Nirvana Day in your tradition or country? And second, what is the meaning of Nirvana Day? What is the key teaching in Nirvana Day for you in your tradition? And we have a wonderful list of speakers. I see myself on the screen. It's like, wow, I see my face so clearly. Normally I don't see it like this. So it's unusual. But we have a couple of wonderful speakers. We have Venerable Irowa-uta Tale from Sri Lanka. We have Venerable Guan Zhen from China. Reverend Doyen Park from Korea, USA. And Venerable TK Nakagaki will also be one of the speakers. We'll also have Lama Moktan from Tibet and Nepal, and Savaji Sri Swamini, Swamini, my good friend Swamini, from USA, representing the Hindu and Tibet traditions. So I guess with that beginning, can we have a discussion from and beginning with Venerable Irowa-uta?
Sorry, Piya, do you see him?
He just sent text that he has internet issue.
Oh, he has an internet issue.
That's okay. We can be flexible. We're like tofu. So, all right, that's all right. Then we can start off with Venerable Guan Zhen.
Yes.
Venerable, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jens. It's nice to see you again. That's a bit of a while.
You're here now. And let me.
Right. So, Jen, I would like to answer your second question regarding how we observe Nirvana Day in, especially in Mahayana Chinese Buddhist tradition. So Nirvana is it's a very important day for Buddhists to observe because it presents the Buddha was born and was become ascetic and then enlightened and then went into the Nirvana. So so we do observe Nirvana as a process, like a teaching in the Four Noble Truths. That's a natural process. We do observe how this we as a human has to face in this whole process as a human naturally and without resistance, but accepted and knowing what's going and what's coming and knowing what's that meaning for it. But also in couple of translation of the Mahayana Buddha Sutras, we do observe 2 main meanings of the Buddha's Nirvana. Let me share the PowerPoint with you. So in Maha Pari-Nirvana Sutra, it says, 若见佛性能断烦恼，是则名为大般涅槃, which means when you see the Buddha nature within and are able to cease mental fetters, you are in great nirvana. So that means there is no more a stage of fearing, but it's the stage of peace and stage of letting go. That means you are in a clear position the mental fetters are already ceased. So Nirvana in this perspective means the ceasing of the fires. The fire which means unskillful desires or mental fetters. So that came from Maha Pari-Nirvana Sutra. And also that's like come from Sanyaku Akama Sutra. It says, these are all in Chinese translation. It says like this: 贪欲永尽，嗔恚永尽，一次永尽，一切诸烦恼永尽，是名涅槃. So I translated as the ends of the three unwholesome rules and mental fetters compose the meaning of Nirvana. So, James, regarding to your question of how we share or we celebrate the Buddha's Nirvana, it is very important in a way that we see Buddha as a historical figure that has going through the process as the human was born, and in the process that seeking the meaning of life into how I would should be, and then enlightened, going into the process of dying Nirvana. But it also represents the spirit of the Buddha as that Nirvana is a symbol of the Four Noble Truths, and it's also the symbol of the seething the fires of unskillful desires. That is also the symbol of the be able to present that kind of Buddha nature at the last minute and living in the peace. And the chanting at the beginning I gave is that it says, as such, now the gathering is in the presence of the Nirvana. And it's the meaning of the presence of Nirvana. And it cannot be measured by human's wisdom or by human knowledge, but how it's in a sense that the whole universe as is measured. That's what we call Buddha Dharma, Buddha body in the present moment, Nirvana. That's my perspective, and that's what we celebrate in the tradition.
That's great. Thank you very much, Venerable Guan. You left us a lot. Symbol of the Buddha nature. I'm just writing down, so cannot be measured. And next we have Reverend Doyen Park. Is the next slide.
Greetings of peace and liberation from New York City. Thank you, James, and thank you, Dr. Venerable Nakagaki, of course, for bringing us together to honor and remember Siddhartha Gautama Buddha's passing and his life. And as you all know, today, February 15th, is observed as Nirvana Day in many Buddhist traditions. So it's the day we know that we commemorate the death of the Gautama Buddha and his entry into final and complete Nirvana. And when it comes to death, we cannot think of death without life. So that's why I said in the beginning, it's time for us to commemorate and honor the Buddha's death and life, that is to say, the Buddha's teachings in general. And to answer to James, your question number 1 and 2, and actually in the Won Buddhism where I practice, we do not have any particular observance on this Nirvana Day, but we do have Buddha's birthday celebration following the lunar calendar. And again, the Buddha's birthday celebration is the day we remember Buddha's life and death and his teachings. So I don't really see any kind of difference for this celebration of Buddha's birth and his life, his teachings, and his nirvana. And for today's reflection, the first thing came to my mind is the power and the beauty of enlightened mind and heart. I mean, we are all here from different parts of the world in remembrance of the Buddha's passing. The Buddha's life, death, and his teachings are timeless. Think about it, after almost 3,000 years, now we're here still gathering, and we will be gathering again for the Buddha's life and his teachings. And what we are celebrating and what we are really honoring today and indeed every day, is the Buddha's enlightened mind and heart that is not different from true nature within all of us. So I think it's for us, it's a reminder that commemorating Buddha's Nirvana today means connecting to our true nature, our enlightened nature that is ever calm, clear, and selfless. So I take this time opportunity to renew my commitment for the Dharma practice. And as Venerable Guan presented really well, for us, the true meaning of celebrating today is to really remember and following and really making the Buddha's teaching to be our day-to-day life, so that we actually discover our true nature, so that we can have the embodiment, we can become the embodiment of the Buddha's teaching. And I knew that we're gonna listen to a lot of great teachings from venerables, from respected traditions. So I only wanted to kind of remind all of us, the last kind of line is known as the Buddha's last teaching, saying that, quote, all conditioned things are subject to decay. Strive for your liberation with diligence, end quote. So there are many teachings that we can think about today. I think someone is.
Yeah, you're muted, but they're not. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, well, the last thing that I wanted to share for the celebrating of the Nirvana Day, of course, I wanted to remember the last line again. Yes, all things are subject to decay. I'm asking myself, am I taking this path with diligence? So I hope we can all remember that and take this time for us to recommit ourselves for the practice. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Doyen. I don't know who, I can't see who else has got it, but it was like coming out of nowhere. Please forgive me for that. Next, we have Venerable Nakagaki. TK, thank you so much. You're on mute. Venerable Nakagaki, you're on mute. You must unmute yourself. Thank you.
Wait. So, yeah. So thank you so much. And yeah, thank you, Doyen. Venerable Doyen, it was always wonderful to hear you. And then my part is, of course, the Venerable Danjo already explained many parts of it. So I just wanted to just add it a little bit more of how we, what do you call it, in a Japanese tradition, they started. So it's actually this Nirvana Day is actually, I mean, in a record, historical record, it's about started in Nara, and in a Kofuji, sorry, the slipped my mind. What was the name of the temple? Kofuji. Yeah, very famous temple in Nara. But I just want to make sure I don't want it to say the wrong way. But that's 750, which is like almost 1400 years or 1300 years ago, is the first one, that record. And then they still continue, and many temples they continue too. So very typical that we have all the pictures, painting, as the Venerable Danjo show. It's actually a lot of places, even now in Japan today, probably they show the many temple. They have the scroll like the Reverend Danjo has, and they show it, and then they explain it, and then especially a part of the impermanence of life is a very, very important part of the teaching. So that's how they do things. And but then, of course, in Japan, they changed the lunar calendar to solar calendar or Gregoric calendar. So after that, what they do was, because in a sutra it said second month, right? Second month of the 15 days of the second month. And so that's why we just changed, for the not the exact time of the lunar calendar, but rather solar calendar. They just follow the calendar. Like, so as a sutra talk about second month in a, this is the second month for the, solar calendar now. So that's why we have that February 15th. And then actually the birthday of the Buddha, April 8th, is actually 8th day of the 4th month. So that's the same idea. But so that means May normally. And yeah, so like that with this December 8th is the same idea too. And one thing, the question, that I feel like it's very, very important one for me. I mean, this is actually the new tradition that I sort of started in the United States. I mean, at least my temple, when I have the temple, I do also have a memorial service together with the this of course memorial service of the Buddha together with a memorial service for all living beings, like a pets, because sometimes we only have a human beings memorial service. We don't, have, the service for the pets or, the other animals and so forth. So actually at, when I serve at the temple, especially, so people bring the name of the pets because they are part of the family. It's like a Buddha's, see the cat is, or even like I have a next door cat always come every day to my house, and then we just give them milk and so forth. But it's like a family, and so very important life, and then we just see all the life that has all those the value. And now I do have a garden. There are many visitors. Although we said, oh, we are stuck in a house, but actually, although I'm in a stuck in a house myself, but yet all the animals, came and then greet every day. And sometimes, squirrel comes, and depending upon the season. But that makes really life really make the life rich. And so. And the way you see the life, each life has a Buddha nature, the way that this was described, even part of the Nirvana Sutra too. But and so that the quality of life, so we start seeing ourselves as a very probably important than the others as well. And so the understanding of my life is important means others' life is also very important for them. So that's why we should take care of. Whether I like it or not is another question. Maybe I don't like this person, but yet he or she has her own precious life. So that's, and then it's not just the human beings, but all the animals and all the creatures. Even like it was interesting for even like a vegetation, the sada trees are crying too. That's why one is green, one is deteriorate too. So it was showing the sadness of that too. So that points of the memorial service for this Nirvana Pari-Nirvana is for me is also really respecting all the life that we have, and all so-called all sentient beings is the one that reminds me. So, thank you, James.
Yes, thank you, Vero Nakagaki. That was great. It showed how, as you were discussing, how the interrelated nature of all life works together, and that is tied to our Buddha nature and to even our everyday activities can be powerful, transformative activities and events. Next, we have Lama Mokten.
Yeah, so that's another question.
I wasn't sure. I know we have Swamini. I know Swamini's here.
So the Piya, is the Piya there? Do you know whether he's here?
Yeah, Karma Lama Moktan. Yeah, he's there.
Oh, he's there. Oh, let me find it. I could.
Okay. And as you look for him, I can say that one of the things I just want to remember and go over. Yes, you see him?
No, okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Venerable Guan Zhen taught about us about the power of the Buddha symbol and the Buddha nature, and Doyen taught us about how we commemorate his life by our livingness, and the same as it being inside of us, the Buddha nature. We heard Venerable Nakagaki talk about how the life is touched, and then he talked about very everyday activities and how powerful that was. I just wanted to recap as we got to Lama Mokten of Tibet and Nepal. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Let me.
कर्मजी तपाईको पालो हो।
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to connecting here. Actually, I don't have. I don't know very good English. So because I study in many years in Buddhist Tibetan tradition and Bhutanese tradition. So I only want to say very few words because already mentions about Parinirvana and about what to do and what to follow on this Parinirvana days. So from my side, in Parinirvana day, we celebrate in Nepal and Tibetan Buddhism as a calendar, lunar calendar, 4th month of 15. There's a full month. So consider this year, this fall on June 14. So when we celebrate that, most of the time we wake up in the morning. So we take Sokjung. That means confess all the sins, and we take a vow. So it can grow our, and it can multiply our dharma. That's why we normally do this, and daytime we do many activities on this Nirvana day. So most of the village in our Nepal, we do around, I mean we do around in a village, taking sutra of Buddha's teaching and statue and blowing conch and trumpet, everything. So that's the message we give, that all the villager or all the nation or no, in all over the world, it become a peace because of this son of the Buddha teachings. It may become a peace in the world. So we do every year, and we celebrate like this in Nepal. So and in many parts of Nepal as well, we are reciting mantra of Buddha, Buddha Sakyamuni, and all the followers do many kora. That means round in the stupa and monastery, like this. So this year also we all will pray for the peace in the world with this Parinirvana day. According with Parinirvana day, hardly we pray for that. So it's very important to do like that. So I'm very sorry to I'm not very speak well, so I'm sorry. So I'm to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Oh, that was wonderful. I mean, we got so much out of it. I noted as you were speaking, you focused on Buddha's Nirvana Day, on the daily practices that you do to bring peace to the world. You know, it's not some just one day. It's every day. It's everything you do. So that's why it was very powerful what you said. So thank you very much, Lama Mokten. Thank you very much. Swamini, it's great to see you. You're up. Thank you.
Thank you, James. And thank you, Venerable Karma Lama, for your beautiful words and all else. Thank you to the organizers. Thank you to TK and all for inviting me. So I am a guest in this tradition, happen to be here. And there's much lore that surrounds the Buddha's Parinirvana. So I'll tell you, I was thinking about it last night, and have heard of Chunda the blacksmith, who gave the Buddha his last meal of rice gruel, after which the Buddha felt ill and requested a bed, lay down with his head facing north among the shala trees, rolled to the right side, and attained his Parinirvana. And of course, we've heard about this in more detail from Danjo sensei, and thank you for your beautiful talk. I learned a lot from that. I have heard, which no one has yet mentioned, so I hope it is true, but I have heard that the Buddha's last sermon, or perhaps one of his later sermons towards the very end of his life, was the Sermon of the Lotus, where he gathered his disciples by the water and said not a word, but plucked up a lotus flower, a white lotus, and held it. And everyone was sort of talking amongst themselves and maybe a little bit confused. And one disciple, one monk smiled, Mahakasyapa, got it, right? So what is this sermon of the lotus? No mud, no lotus? Perhaps it's a teaching on impermanence, because implied in the blossoming flower is also the death of the flower. And of course, the lotus, in whatever country we are from, in all of our traditions, is a symbol of enlightenment. In the end, though, the Buddha in that sermon spoke no words, so really it's just about the experience, suchness, being, right? I have heard that, as Reverend Doyan mentioned, the Buddha spoke these last words to Ananda: "Let the Dharma and the discipline I have taught you be your teacher. All individual things pass away, strive on." That he did not leave a successor, but just his footsteps for us to follow, asking us, let the Dharma, let your practice, your sadhana, your meditation, your service, your wisdom, your compassion be your teacher. Let your enlightened heart, enlightened mind be your teacher. And this is sort of a small moment which came up immediately when Reverend TK contacted me about this. It's the experience of a nun just getting ready to sleep, right? She has her shoes off, she crosses the wooden floor of her room. Perhaps it's a little bit chilly, and she finds her sleeping pallet and leans over, blows out the candle, and in that moment, candle out, no mind, right? And this is nirvana. It means to blow out or to extinguish, right? What are we blowing out or extinguishing? Mind, right? And of course, the Parinirvana is liberation, not only from the mind, but also from the body. Not about an ending, but perhaps about a beginning, or beyond that, perhaps no end, no beginning, suchness, being, right? And perhaps one of the Buddha's greatest teachings to us is that we too can realize this nirvana and parinirvana, right? Just as he did, that he is not, well, of course he is a very special being, but that his teaching to us is that we are no different in our potential for enlightenment. So, Om Shanti, peace to all. Wishing everyone blessings of liberation and gratitude.
Yes, thank you, Swamini. That's fantastic. I think it is difficult, as you were saying. He's special. There's always like this dialectic movement of how we relate to the Buddha. And I was listening to all of your fantastic remarks, and I thought about the 4 innumerable minds of the Buddha, and that the Buddha, in many ways, through our practices, I was listening to each and every one of you, whether it be, Lama Mokten talking about his prayers on a daily basis, the Venerable Nakagaki talking about the squirrels in his garden, Doyen speaking about there's no special day, right? That they don't have in one Buddhist tradition, or Guan, Venerable Guan Zhen talking about the Buddhist symbol and the Buddha nature. I was thinking that in many ways, as I was listening to you, that the Buddha is always here. The Buddha is always present by our practice, by our mindfulness, by our compassion, by our caring. When we do the things that the Buddha was doing, we become the hands and the tongue and the movement of the Buddha in the world. And so in many ways, while we recognize his transition, his Nirvana Day, we're actually recognizing his life day in a way, his continuation as we're all here together. As Swamini mentioned, we've been using that theme, and she was always with us at the Buddhist Council, so she's like a great friend of the Buddhist Council. We've been using, Swamini, you didn't know that, no mud, no lotus, as a theme for a while now, because of Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh.
Yes.
He made that his signature. Matter of fact, for the Buddhist form, which is coming up in a week, that's the sub-theme, no mud, no lotus, because you can't have one without the other. So I want to let you know how synchronistic the Buddha's arrangement, I call it, things work, right? But then the next thing, to introduce questions 3 and 4, that was there, I wanted to give you that backdrop, saying in a lot of ways, we have different ways of expressing it. And the questions that we could ask is, what is your take on Nirvana Day? That there are different expressions. And what should Nirvana Day, with the idea that the Buddha is still with us in our daily practice, in our daily ways that we're doing it, for peace in the world, concerning the environment, concerning discrimination? How do we take this idea, rather than making it like something on the shelf that we just, like a Christmas holiday, right? Where it happens and then we go, to make it a Nirvana Day really is an embodiment of Buddhism into the everyday life of the world. So anybody would like to start, or would anybody like to take it first? Can we start? Or Nakagaki, would you start us off?
No, not me.
Yeah, you. Yeah, you.
Yeah. Well, at least for me, first, I think as a Buddhism, always start from yourself. And, because we sometimes say, oh, everybody, you should do this and that, but then each one should be starting point. Like Danjo mentioned it also, you become the Buddha, the Buddha laying down. If you're the one who laying down, that's very important and significant. So I think everything should be really, we wanted to say everyone should do this and that, but yet, maybe you can try to start with yourself and how you see all the lives, how you live your life, and how, maybe your life is worth, something that people might appreciate you, or, something that, so all those questions of life, it should be very important. And then also the impermanence of life, the death is actually very important. Sometimes this society, we try to, put away the death somewhere. So in a way, even among the 3 celebration, right? Buddha's enlightenment, the birth, and then the passing away, Parinirvana, but somehow this part is a little less emphasized maybe for some culture, but yet it seems, for me, that because life without death it's impossible anyway. The life, when we have a life, it's always come the death. So that's one part. The thinking of your own life is a very, very important part of this the Nirvana Day, for me at least.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Very powerful. No mud, no lotus, no life, no transition or death.
Oh,
very powerful.
Nice phrase.
Yes.
And
yes, Venerable Guan Zhen.
Yeah, James, I love the way you are speaking about, and also the about no mask, no lotus. I also look at this Nirvana. If I may, I would like to mention Venerable Danjo. Show that picture. It shows that not only the human beings gathering together for the day, but heavenly beings, animals, including the trees. If you look at the leaves, some leaves will turn in yellow, right? Some maintain green. So that means Nirvana remind us, if we look at today's society, especially the social justice, right? We make it so much distinguished that I'm me and you, right? And they. So conflicts, also hatred, ignorance, these three unwholesome, mental qualities, we call mental factors, will continue to develop in a way that it's not nirvana, because nirvana means peace. Right? Nirvana means return to a way that we call Dhamma body, or enter a way that no harming, right? But bring life together. So that's its meaning. And when I look at that picture, that printed one about Danjo shared, and it's so much in details, telling so many things to look at today's social justice issues, including the United States. Globally wide conflicts going on, Ukraine crisis going on, and we hope that people will look at this. All right, we are as such now, we are gathered in the presence of Nirvana, which means we are gathered in this now in peace, and to understand each other, to bring life together, and do not discriminate from each other. For example, either based on sexuality, based on the nationality, based on whatever it is coming on. That's what we call it humans mental factors, unskillful desires, or bring back to the concepts I, right? That's me and I. And this once you were trapped in that cave of I or me, and that's not nirvana, right? That's called the reincarnation of birth and death. But nirvana is in a space that beyond a transcend birth and death. So that's very important. And we should put this, we should bring this idea into today's world, let people know how to develop this quality, and be able to create a society that equal, and also I would say beautiful to see all the creatures working together or celebrating this all together. And still there's a lot work we had to do, since three unwholesome mental factors keep going on, like the Mars keep going on, lotus coming up. And hopefully this process getting easier when we all bring this into daily activities. Yeah.
Thank you. I was going to build on what Venerable Nakagaki said and Venerable Guan Zhen said, and ask Swamini and Doyen and Lama Mokten to ask a different question in a little bit. How can we look at the Nirvana Day celebration or engagement as a means of hope? Based upon what we just heard about in the context of peace, the environment, and discrimination. Is there a way that we can look at Nirvana and the daily activities that we provide because of no mud, no lotus, that we can see things in a hopeful way? Anyone want to go first? Everyone's hands goes over once. Yes, Swamini. Yes, Swamini. Go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Pardon me, it's muted. Okay, James, I'm so glad that you mentioned Thich Nhat Hanh, because that's been obviously a great Buddha has passed, and we just want to honor him on this Pari-Nirvana Day. And with the no mud, no lotus, the mud in the world, the mud in our lives gives us the opportunity to practice, right? If all were perfect and we're sitting on our lotus flower, in meditation all the time, we don't need to be in this world, right? And how do we do this? Maybe it doesn't matter what the practice is, but just that we do something with reverence each day, that we have the view, right? That, impermanence, but also a view of the world that all is sacred, right? And we honor every living being. And I loved what Noel TK said about, the animals that visit. We have animals here too, and the animals in the artwork. And that's very important, right? That all beings are included in this enlightenment, in this moksha. That we're all in this together. We're interconnected, right? It's not just us as human beings with our economic interests, which sometimes can lead to the pollution and destruction. It's about all beings on the planet, the animals, the trees, even the earth, the health and well-being of the earth and the sky as well, birds, the fish, all of it. We all live here together. No one really more important than the other, all of us interconnected. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Swami.
Mind emptied.
No, that's good. I'm gonna go Lama Mokten, please. How do you see that? Do you see your practice? What you described before as giving hope to people?
Discriminations between people and every sentient beings. It's very unkindness, actually. It's very important to be equality. Yeah? That's why it's a very important to know ourselves first. How do we feel? Yeah, and when we know ourselves, then only we can know the others. Very so that first we have to know ourselves, how to care, how to love ourselves. So then only we can know the others' feelings and others' pain. That's why only we can generate our compassion and love and compassion mind. That's only I can. I think that's the very best thing and very important things to do in our daily life, to practice in become Bodhisattva and Parinibana. I think this there.
Thank you very much. That's very important. Discrimination. First thing you started off with, discrimination is unkindness. That's very profound, right? We think we have, once we start the practice of separating, we are beginning to become unkind, and we start the other process that everyone was saying. Reverend Doyen?
Hi. Thank you for all of your wisdom here this morning, especially answering to your question, James, that you brought the hope, right? How we can take this to be a real hope for our everyday life. And I was thinking to answer, I want to approach it from the perspective of like our conscious choice. Yes, I think we all know that, of course, no mud, no nirvana, no lotus, right? So when we say that, all the peace, happiness, joy, it coming from that when we overcome, when we embrace the suffering, the in nature, inevitable part of our life, when we are accepting, when we are embracing, when we are wisely overcome all these challenges, then we experience this, happiness and joy and peace. So there are a lot of things going on in the world, in terms of the social justice, and there are so many things that we need to deal in our day-to-day life. And yet, for me, this mindfulness, the meditation practice, one of the things that I really appreciate from the Buddhist practice is, I consciously make a choice to be hopeful, to make a better effort, to make things better based on my spiritual cultivation. So I think it's really important for us to understand and remember that we have this power to choose how we want to live day-to-day life. So I'm sure we all know that, and yet we just need a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of booster day by day. And the gathering that we have today, this one's like, for me, I'm feeling, I'm getting this, powerful booster shot. So yes, I see all these great people out there, all these great, practitioners out there. So I want to be more diligent in this practice. So again, we just choose to be hopeful, do our best to be wise, to take more compassionate acts in our day-to-day life.
Thank you very much. That's beautiful. We're going to have 1 minute. I just was saying a couple of things these were just notes I jotted down from every one of you. You know, Nirvana Day connects to social justice because it starts with knowing ourselves. And by knowing ourselves through practice, we stop discrimination and being unkind. We have a pathway forward to bringing peace and love and sacredness into the world. That's what it seems to me that you were saying. That's what I got from what you guys said. So with that, we get a 1 minute last comments. I do want to also, when I didn't get a chance to say it, but Venerable Danjo, you know, one of the things he was so, I don't know if he's still here, but one of the things that he was really phenomenal with is saying that, embodying what everyone was saying, he was saying, one of the most powerful mantras we can say to anybody in the world is, I love you.
Yes. Maybe
if we have the mind that everyone we meet, I love you, with real emotional content and real understanding of the interconnectedness with other people, then it truly can transform the world. And it's the essence of all mantras. That's what he was saying. I never forgot that. And I do think it's appropriate also on Nirvana Day to say that today. Yeah. So with 1 minute, last comments from all, we'll do it verse. Swamini, you'll go first.
1 minute. Well, something that came to mind is, you know, for us, it's maybe very easy to come on a Zoom and wish everybody well, or to write something and wish everybody well. But what it comes down to is, what are we doing with the people who are close to us as well? That's where the going gets tough sometimes. And I am not in community right now, but I have been. And so, you know, right? What happens when your roommate wants the fan on and it makes you sick and you like the fan off, right? What happens when in the kitchen someone complains, oh, you guys never do your dishes, you leave them all for me to do, right? And this is, as we know, this is stuff that happens in community. How do we handle that? How do we keep our peace, right? And act in kindness, compassion, wisdom? How do we navigate the nitty-gritty of our daily life? That's where the practice comes in, right? And yeah, with great love and joy and compassion and wisdom. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Who's reverse? Lama Mokten. Can you give 1 minute closing remark? 1 minute? What would you like to say to everyone as they depart?
Actually, this is very important to be, I already mentioned love and kindness. Just you mentioned that love is very important. There's I think two things in my mind: love that we want and love we care. Yeah, just because of attraction, if you love, it's not good. It's attraction love. Just we have to love the poor. We care for the good others. That's love is very important. That's why we differentiate the two kinds of love. So when we say you love to others, that's sometimes that's because of attraction to others. That means you need that. Yeah. Or if your mind come like that, it's I need this. This is very beautiful. It's very good. Well, I need this. This is very wrong way of thinking in this our Buddhism. So when we say love and compassion, and when we say love you, that means we want that good, and we want they are very successful.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it's a very love, and I think there's two types of love. Thank you.
No, that's very important. One is a egoistic love, sort of what was Venerable Zhen was saying before. There's a difference between having an ideation or an idea of me and what I want, and opposed to having a love based upon the reality of the universe. Those are two different things. Thank you so much. Then it was Venerable Nakagaki.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe last thing, maybe I just wanted to talk is probably the almost the last words of the Buddha, but the one, you know, when the last trip to the Buddha, he stopped by, I believe, in the Vaishali area, and he talked about, you know, one of the probably also very famous one: rely on yourself, do not depending upon anybody else, rely on the Dharma, and then do not depending upon any other teachings. And so that particular passage for me is like really the relation between my learning myself. You know, it's a question, you know, when the Buddha is dying, what we should be doing. But then one of the answer is you can always see the Buddha as you practice too. So it's always in learning yourself and learning the truth, the Dharma, is a very important thing that we can always focus. You know, if we may lost somewhere in our world, but then the one thing you have is you always have yourself, but you have always surrounded by the truth, whether whether we know or not, but then because that's the truth means. Right? Truth is something you always there, and then that's the truth, or interdependence or interconnectedness. You can say many other words, but that's right there. So it's always, yeah, again, jitomyo, hotomyo in Japanese. Learn yourself and make yourself light, and then make the Dharma the light. So those are the messages that I feel very important. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Venerable Doyen.
Oh, yes, thank you. Once again, maybe from the Buddha's last teaching, strive for your liberation with diligence. For me personally, I think I've been overlooked the part of the with diligence, meaning that including myself, many of us here in this Zoom call or whomever watching from out there, I think we already know the importance or the value of this Buddha's teaching. And yet, I guess for me, you know, am I making this practice with sincere diligence? So, you know, we can have how we can go a little further, little closer to the complete peace and liberation. That's one thing. And one last thing I would like to mention is that, yes, Buddha's mind I see as this calm, still, serene mind. And then Buddha's action simply we can say as a compassion. So how we can, you know, make this Buddha's mind and in an action into our day-to-day life. So how am I becoming more compassionate day by day? Meaning that am I becoming a person who's always helping and compassionate to others? So that is a very practical measure that we can see how we really make this everyday Dharma into ourselves and then for the community that we're in. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Made me think just quickly what you said about the idea of the Buddha's whole renunciation, this whole willingness to give up everything was an act of great compassion. Mm-hmm. You know, he renounced everything so that he could help the world eventually with his teachings and insight. Last, Venerable Guan Zhen. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, James. I think that's a lot to say about this Nirvana and last words. But I think in Chan or Zhen tradition, a daily practice is that to be able to hold a sacred space for yourself and for others. By saying sacred space, if you look at today, it's turning toward more to secularism, right? Everyone, secularism is developing the society really in the good way that allow technology to develop. But we find daily that we become busier and busier and driven by materials with our sensations. So the need to hold that sacred space as an order for ourselves and as an order for the world. And that sacred space of Nirvana or peace, right? Or like I mentioned about the love, right? It's a sacred space. Right? Because it develops your inner tranquility, your inner wisdom, and your loving kindness toward others, including the kindness with that love. So that's a sacred space. It's not your sensation toward the ideal I and the making in a secular society that making you shout, right? But convey to others. So I think that today we should make a balance, like a two winds of a bird, right? Secularism and sacred space. Should not be say which one is most important, right? But how to balance them, right? And from individually daily practice, that you'll be able to hold a sacred space for yourself, either meditate or either to develop your good quality of love, loving kindness, and kind, or either simply kindness to yourself or others. So once that holy space was able to be developed as an order to yourself, then imagine how many people you can either inspire, right? In fact, like one about Tina Hang, I think that he hold a holy sacred space daily, right? Peace in every step present. So that's why I would say the Buddha's Nirvana is a holy or either sacred space that presents we need to develop. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I wrote down that's a very important way of concept, holding a sacred space. I guess that's in a lot of ways what Nirvana was for the Buddha. He always held a sacred space. And with that, I know we're going to have closing message by Venerable Sobhita. You're muted.
Yes, James, it's regret to he doesn't convey the message. Dr. Venerable Sobhita is he has to compel to traveling from Spain to Netherlands. So he was actually he was waited for a long time, and due to the time differences, he has to go out from the Spain to Netherlands. So that's one kind of immigration issues. So he could not attend this. On behalf of Dr. Venerable Sobhita, so I would like to take this the place to conclude remarks. As I'm the one of the Secretary General of International Buddhist Education Center, and I'm very much thankful for all our wonderful the teachers and scholars, religious leaders, and venerables and reverends, and representing all the faiths, and majorly we are all Buddhist and follow of that. And despite your busy time, and even Venerable Nakagaki, I myself is being working very hard for the past few days, creating this event. And as we have done the World Interfaith Harmony Weeks, that was on 3rd February. Follow up that we was decided why we should not again celebrate, and bringing all our Buddhist communities back into this platform, and sharing the ideas, and knowing the importance for the facts of the Parinibbana, so that we can get connected each other. And as far as I have seen that what the lessons we can learn from this Parinibbana is the message, the strong message of the impermanence, the changing, that nothing stay, anything permanent. That's why there's when something, the permanent things comes, ideal things come, that's all the destruction starts. So even the Buddha, when he was at the age of 80, and in the Parinibbana, it happened. So it's like a natural process. It's like a day and night, sleeping. The Parinibbana is like a sleeping, and of course we still have the tomorrow morning to wake up. So it's like a awareness, sleeping and wake up. It's a process of that. So nothing we can live in this world. So the Parinibbana is like a total voidness. The voidness that we enter. So that's what we call Nirvana. We attaining the Nirvana is we are going to the voidness that nothing is there. So there we are leaving everything from the world, but we are still awareing, we are still sensing the world of the perfectness. So after we have learned all about the compassion, love, and altruism love, and we should be the love for the others, and and the important message we have been learned from all the scholars from different faiths, especially our Doyeng, who has been very much professes the importance of impermanence, and also Swami and Chris, and our Nippon Soken, and also Guan and Hatsui, and of course again James Lynch, and who has been very much wonderful moderating and for a few events, and even today he did very marvelous job and balancing and again making more beautiful words of the this Parinibbana. So I have been learned. It's a process of learning, and hope that we can meet again for any other important things that is coming up, and we'll discuss with Venerable Nakagaki for coming up where we can again meet up for this wonderful platform to see you all beautiful, smiling face from east to west, and here. And thank you very much, and good night and good morning from Kathmandu, Nepal. Is a land of the Buddha and land of the peace. And thank you very much again, Karma Lama, and also Sundravis and Miyasi Ibato, and all the names that I could not see. I have been, thank you very much for again, and say namaste and warm greetings and good night from Kathmandu, Nepal, and good morning to all New York.
Right. Thank you very much, Piya-san. Dr. Piya, I appreciate very much for your support. And then please join me in meditation. Place your palms together and bow your head. And may all sentient beings be happy, well, and peaceful. May we all be free from suffering. May we all be free from pain. May we all be free from attachment, from greed, anger, and ignorance. May we all attain ultimate happiness and peace of enlightenment through the guidance of Buddha's wisdom and compassion. Thank you, everyone. Peace again and namaste. Thank you
Thank you
so
so much. Okay.
Okay, have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care. Okay.